Hello, my name is Carson Jackson, and this is to show off my prototype of the game I'm working on. Right now, I'm actually showing some of the coding before we go into the actual prototype. This is actually, current one on screen is actually the wayfinder for my NPC patrol. These are the gizmos that have the enemy patrol the area. This is the beginning code, and of course the two for the countdown and timer that are in prototype. When the game starts, we will only be seeing this one section. These ones will actually be disabled, so let's start. This is the start of the game. Basically, this is supposed to be an NPC that the person meets, but due to time limits, I couldn't actually put the NPC in. But this is telling you how to play the game. Basically, you're going to avoid the creatures. But right now, they can't hurt you. Basically, they're just going to be patrolling. To move, you can press the WASD keys or arrow keys. I'm going to be mainly using the arrow keys for the demo. There is a flashlight. To turn it on and off, you can press the F key. And this is really up to the player's discretion if they want to use it. I found while working on the prototype that there's many places that was pretty dark. So the flashlight was really a big help while trying design. You also have an info, and basically it's a tune spells inventory. And of course, for info you press the I, and for tunes you press T. Other than that, the music that was playing was Spellbound, which of course ended as soon as this ended. And so to get into the actual gameplay, you press the button here, and we go into the actual gameplay. And again, the flashlight, you can turn it on and off based on your own preferences. Some areas you can see are dark, and this helps display what might be there. There is a timer up here. This is showing you how much time is actually left in game. Now, I know it's a huge time right now. This is just really to test to make sure this timer is working, because I probably went through dozens and dozens of codes trying to get an actual timer that works. And in the end, I calculated 365 days by 24 hours by 60 to get this time. And of course, you can't see it, but as the timer slowly goes down, the actual slider it's on will actually start to go down. But of course, right now it's not, since time is that huge. But eventually, I'm hoping to have it where you can actually see the slider go down with the time. Also, if you notice, in the background, the sky box is actually a nighttime. This, again, is not actually definitely how this level is going to look. I might try to implement like a day or night system, and I have not really decided on that yet, because I did actually want to include a calendar. But again, getting it to work was going to be the object. And you also notice you don't see everything that's in the distance. So as you explore more buildings, then other stuff will come available. We also, before we go into the spheres, have an info system here. If you want to turn it off, you can. And if you want to have it on, there's also the bag for inventory. You can click, it opens up the inventory system. Click it again. And it should turn it off. And that opens up scrolls, or the tombs. But also, if you wanted to leave this off and not mess with that, you can press I to open and shut the inventory, and T for the tombs. And basically, as said, we're going to start using the arrow keys to explore here. And as you're exploring, you can pick up items. Currently, the inventory system is only set for one item right now. The item I decided, just for the testing purposes, is actually a pot. And unfortunately, you cannot use or describe the item yet, but this is just a test to make sure that this system is working. And of course, the same with the tombs. This is mainly the only book I have right now, but I'm hoping to actually edit the other ones so you can have different versions. And I'm hoping eventually to have a second system implemented. So, that's it. And of course, we can view the area. There is multiple areas you can explore. I'm not going to show all of them because it's quite a big scene, so you can go down that way and you would see other things. There's like an overlay of a broken highway, some plane parts, a car. And before we go too much further, if we press the P button, we get a game paused, which stops the timer, and also allows the player to turn music on and to turn music off. Eventually, I'll probably add in things for sounds, so the players can have the sound options turned on and off. And we also have a restart if the player messes up and wants to restart the game. which of course is not implemented yet, and there's also a quit feature. And of course you press P and the game resumes. And if we keep moving, this is the start of the enemy system. This is basically the enemy patrolling. There's actually 3 different way spots that this enemy can go between. And of course, it's random, so. And as I said, the enemy doesn't really do much. You could go up to it and basically it'll just push you. But you won't get any damage or anything. It just goes about its way. For the player to actually win the game, as mentioned, the timer has to go down to 0. And hopefully once a health system is implemented, then if the player ends up losing all their life, then you'll get an end screen. But to give a more idea of the actual area, other than that, there's not much more really left to show. So, I thank you for joining me on this exploration.